Welcome back to the O&D life, you guys. I am just doing some work around the homestead, cleaning up that tree that I fell over a year ago, or maybe a year ago, and getting that cleaned up finally. And then I'm also going to be cutting down some other trees up by the horses, thinning it out, and actually have a plan. My daughter and I, we're going to see about building a shelter, but a log cabin shelter for the goats. A little project that we can put on some 4x4s and maybe drag it around, so it's not stationary. So just a little bit of a project that we're going to be working on over the next, who knows how long, it might take years. But gives us a reason to thin out the woods back there and do something with those logs. So stick around and for the first part. Welcome back to the O&D life, where we get orange and dirty. This is where you can come for some lessons learned from a new tractor owner who learned the hard way, but also learn about some products that I've found that has made my tractor a lot more usable, a lot more enjoyable, and has helped me out tremendously around the homestead. So stick around, and today we'll be talking about something that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Okay, for the safety Nazis out there, safety police, I do have my chainsaw chaps on, but no, I don't have on the face shield. I think I do have my hearing protection on, but that's the extent of it. So, hey, I get lazy sometimes. You'd think I'd learned my lesson, but to each his own. You know what? All right, so I did use the tractor to just lift up the end a little bit. I did have some wedges that I put in as I sawed through that log, and everything seemed to work out pretty good. I was able to use the grapple then to move the pieces. I think they were about 12-foot pieces, roughly. I want to say the last piece was a little bit thicker and a little bit harder to pick up sufficiently. I'm trying to remember. And unfortunately, I don't think I got the video when I'm actually moving it. I did just get it up off the ground and get it moved, and then I repositioned. But didn't get footage of actually moving the last piece. But hey, it's nice to get that tree out of there. Well, I know why I didn't. I just figured let it lay there instead of moving it over where I had some the other tree stored. Now that I've milled most of that up, I've got some room to put this. So that's why I didn't do it all this time. In some of the footage later on, we'll be cutting down some much smaller trees, and I'll narrate that. But otherwise, I'm going to let this play on out with some music. Okay, here is some of the small pine trees that we're going to cut down. And one of the, I mean, they're pretty thick in there. One of them that you'll see, it's the second one that I cut. It was hung up on the branches and did not even start to fall and kind of stayed put. I then decided to get it leaning in the opposite direction, up the hill basically, up into the other trees. And then my plan was to pull it out with the tractor. So you'll see that here in just a second. But like I said, we're going to cut down, thin out some of this in here. It is too crowded. And use the wood to make a log cabin shelter for the goats. And hopefully the plan is to put it onto some 4x4s so that way we could skid it around the yard as I move the goats. And, you know, I have these big plans of having fencing in areas and rotating pastures. So we'll see how that goes. All right, here's the one that gave me some trouble. Went ahead, put my notch in, and then it didn't move. Went to push on it, and it was not budging. It was just hung up above. Thankfully, nothing came down on top of me as I tried pushing it more and more. You know, I ended up cutting through too far, and it came off the stump there. So went ahead and got it into a position that I'll be able to pull it out with the tractor. Went on to the next tree that I wanted to fall. And this one was kind of interesting. Once it came down, it came down nice and slow and controlled. And you'll see where it really kind of stopped halfway. It did have just enough resistance from some branches that it kept it up, along with the wedge, you know, or the cut hinge, I guess you could say. Got it on down, then I went ahead and limbed it up. Figure, hey, while it's up a little bit higher, don't have to bend over, I'll limb it up, and made pretty short work of that. I will say that chainsaw is heavy for limbing, so I went ahead and did that. Got that one all limbed up and down. For the other one that I fell, the first one, I decided just to use that hatchet that I have, that I keep on the tractor. Fits in that scabbard that I have on my cutting belt. And I tell you what, that was actually more pleasant to use. You know, you don't have the weight of the chainsaw. You know, it's a heavy chainsaw. And it cut through most of them. Had to take a few swipes at some of the thicker stuff, but it ended up working out pretty good. And I'm going to go to some footage where I am, where I kind of talk about that and show you some of the branches that I cut with that. It worked out pretty good. So this is the last tree that I fell. I limbed it up off camera using the chainsaw mainly. And then I wanted to come over to this other one that I just showed, where I used the carpenter's axe. Carpenter's hatchet. The Husqvarna carpenter's hatchet. And actually, I enjoyed using it. So each of these, you know, you saw the video. Some of them I had to take a couple swipes at. But some of them came off real clean. That one's not quite off. That one's off. You know, that's a pretty good size. Let's get it up to where you can see it. These are some thicker ones. You can see. But the hatchet worked pretty good. I think I'm going to make sure that's in the Amazon store. Pretty sure it is. It's one of the tractor daily carry items on the tractor. Comes in handy. Oh, the cleanup is so much fun, isn't it? Yeah. At least, you know, so this fresh stuff that I'm trimming off, I'm going to put it in a pile and I'll come up with the wood chipper and chip it up into my basket or wheelbarrow. Might put a old wheelbarrow that I have onto a pallet and then pull that up with me. Fill it up. It'll be easier to dump than my basket that I made for the wood chips. That's kind of a pain to dump out, is what I've learned. So, gotta clean up the mess, and it is nice that now I can chip that up and get it condensed down. Don't have to have a big pile. Right behind that pile that I have there that I'm making now is an old pile from when I was clearing out up there. And I'm going to get the dump trailer and fill it up and get that old pile out, put it over in my old pile from before that I've started to burn, and I slowly get that burnt up. You know, the old stuff has a lot of dirt in it, so I don't want to run that through the chipper. But the new fresh stuff, I'll get chipped up and get it disposed of that way. So, you know, just got to cut up these trees. I'm putting them into 8-foot sections, I believe, and we'll be working on a log cabin in some videos to come. So I appreciate you watching, appreciate you commenting and giving the videos likes. It does help them get suggested to some other videos, so I appreciate that. If you can, please check out the description. You'll find links to other videos of some products that you might be interested in checking out. I know that's what I enjoy watching, seeing what's out there, seeing it stuff used in action, and get an idea about something that I might want, a new toy that I might want. So let's air. There's also a link to my Facebook page that you might like. In addition, there's a link to the Amazon store, the O&D Life Amazon store. There you can find some products that I've used in videos and has made life with the tractor and homesteading, property management much easier, enjoyable, to enjoy your time outside getting orange and dirty.